Yes, 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 yes. You tune into another episode of the CastOffs podcast. Is your boy Biz. We're here with a couple of good people here. Who's got their phones on? Is that me? Put that in there. I'm here telling everyone to switch their phone over, put it on vibrate, and I'm the first culprit. That's great, isn't it?
Be my sample.
Season 2, new episode. Big up Frankie, the mascot, just chilling, trying to figure out how to be a videographer as well. First Eye Production, Hannah, we got Hannah in the place. We got a special guest today. We already got Kelly. Kelly, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
We got a very special guest today, and she is Dr. Tanya Bright from the Bright Center.
Hello.
You all right?
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm there in it. Yeah. we thought one of the things we wanted to do with Series 2 was to add a couple of things to do with improving the body and mind. We've done a couple of episodes with bar workouts, Pilates workout, and I just thought we'd be nice to add, call it mental workout, so to speak. So I thought probably be the best person to speak to that I know, and that can come and give us a good angle, or explain to us in layman's terms what is good for the mind, what is good for the body, from an inside perspective instead of the physical side with obviously the bar, Pilates, and yoga workouts. Do you want to tell us a bit about the Bright Center and what you do, Dr. T?
Yeah, sure. So basically the Bright Center, the name itself is actually my surname, so Bright being my surname, but it's very much about having a bright center on the inside. Mm-hmm. So it's all about making sure you're happy, healthy within to be able to really shine on the outside.
Okay.
So that's a little bit behind the name. What I do is, it sounds very cheesy and I totally embrace it, but I'm just trying to help as many people in the world as possible.
Okay.
There's so much going on, especially with obviously coming out of COVID and just general everyday stresses and struggles and trying to juggle so much every day that everyone does. That it's really important to have that mental resilience.
All right.
And so many people just don't know how to do that, how to achieve that. And yeah, like you said, it's very much about actually, people go to the gym to achieve physical health. We need to be proactive with the mind, just like very much having a gym membership, but for the mind.
Yeah. Because I think it's the mental health and people's mental health state, it's huge now. It's back in our parents' days, it wasn't a bigger deal, which it should have been then. But obviously, with technology and with more knowledge that we've gained from it, it's more of a bigger deal now, and rightfully so.
Exactly.
It's one of those things that people kind of fall off, especially men. Most people, but I'll say men because I'm a dude, I can see it. Where do you think you can come? How can you get into that space to make people realize, and this is across both sexes, that they can't ignore their mental state. People have the varying levels of the mental health within them, but it can't be ignored. It can always be improved on, even if you think that at the moment you are good, within a good space. But that's fine, but it still can be improved on.
Yeah, definitely. And I think actually, when you're in a good headspace, it's actually the best time to do the work.
Yeah.
Because you're being proactive again. And that's what I'm really sort of trying to teach and get out there, is it's so important to be proactive, not just wait till you're super stressed or you're struggling with anxiety or struggling with depression or some other mental struggle to do something about it.
Yeah.
Because if you're here and you get hit with something, you're only going to dip a little bit. If you're already down here and you get hit with something that obviously you're so low already that it's so much harder to come back up. And I think, like you said about, the generations sort of now versus sort of our parents, grandparents' generations where mental health was not a thing, not spoken about. And that stigma is still there a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is getting much better, which is amazing. It helps me because even when I came into the field, which was about 10 years ago now, there was still such a huge stigma. Like, even within my own family, mental health, it's looking at me funny.
That's true, because especially it's like normally, oh, come on, man up, man. It's like, get on with it. It's stiff upper lip, just get on,
Yeah, so especially to do with men, especially, that whole man up.
Yeah.
There's been a lot very recently about, stop saying that, basically.
Oh, she say woman up? Gender neutral up?
Yeah. Non-binary up. But exactly that. It's actually about trying to discover, what is actually going on. And there was that, I can't remember exactly who it was now, but there was a campaign that said to make sure you ask someone if they're okay twice.
Yeah.
Because especially Brits, we like to be all polite and, are you okay? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, not too bad. So it's just making sure you ask somebody twice, because the second time they might just go, actually, boom.
Yeah.
And then they'll offload, and then that wall sort of comes down.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned that you've been doing this for 10 years now. So obviously I was going through the qualifications and stuff. Because there's a thing, especially in the social media age now, where everyone wants to be a life coach. Everyone's saying they can do this, I can empower you, yada, 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 yada. And I'm going to be honest with you, probably more than half of it, I just look at it and think, yeah. And not because I'm trying to diminish what they're trying to do. It's more like, are you just using life experience to tell me and tell others what they need to do with their life, or how serious are you about what you're trying to do? What qualifications have you got? It's why are you telling me what to do? What have you got? What have you got in it? And I it's kind of impressive when I look at the qualifications here. Masters in Science at King's College in London, in psychology, psychiatry, neuroscience of mental health, neuro-linguistic programming, master practitioner, mental health first aider, sports massage therapist, tutor, medical acupuncture therapist, facial enhancement acupuncture therapist. I'm guessing that it's like, obviously they're all linked, but what I take from that is you've taken this seriously and you've actually gone. Nothing wrong with people telling us what to do based on their own life experience, but you've actually gone and put in the time and work to make sure that if this is the angle you're going or the lane you're going where you've done it properly. And I mean, why did you think that was a good thing to do, or an important part of what you were trying to do to add to your arsenal, to go in to get this? I mean, King's College London, you don't even live in London, so it shows effort. It shows that you were determined to get it right. Why did you think it was important to get these qualifications in place?
My mindset was actually exactly the same as yours, in that I had already known what I wanted to achieve and what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I could see so many people on social media, this coach, life coach, mind coach, mindset coach, whatever coach they were calling themselves, but they didn't have high qualifications. And so aside from actually doing the work, putting in the time, investing, and getting that qualification, the knowledge, the qualification, then straight away sets me aside from majority.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously it was an intense master's. I did it, did the work, and I definitely think, now I can, 100% can help much more people. And I think, on social media, it's actually quite counterintuitive, because a lot of the, hashtag just be positive, hashtag, positive vibes, hashtag whatever. Actually, it's not about being hashtag positive all day, every day. Like, that's not real life.
Yeah.
But it's about having the tools to know that, okay, cool, like if I'm not having a great day, like actually hashtag positive or hashtag be happy is not the right, method.
Yeah.
And I'm not to, put that down, because it's brilliant that so many people are out there trying to help and trying to improve mindset. So absolutely not taking away from all those people. But that isn't the most useful for a lot of people on a daily basis.
Why is that?
Because sometimes, especially if you're in a really bad place, whether it's depression or just stress, maybe just daily stress, and actually you've got someone just going, oh, just be, just be positive, just be happy, and you think, I actually just want to throw my phone out the window when I
Can I be angry for a few minutes? Yeah.
So actually it's more, actually I give out tips, really simple tips to put in place to manage when you're feeling stressed, to not hashtag just be happy and smiley, but actually I give you a very simple tool for how to manage your thoughts, to then quickly be able to be in a better mindset.
Oh, that's great. So how long did it take to get your master's in science in psychology and psychiatry? I'm guessing that all that was linked as one course, or you had to go back?
It's just a very long title, sorry.
PPNMH. How long did that take to do?
It was just over 2 years.
And I mean, are they the best colleges to get that, or you just picked that because it suited what your needs were?
Yeah, well, King's College London actually is one of it's got an international research, can't get my words in, research centre. So they have the latest knowledge in mental health and neuroscience. So it's one of the best unis in the world. I think when I did my master's, it was, not showing off, but it was like in the top 30 of the world.
Wow, okay.
And the course was just exactly what I wanted to do, amazingly interesting, and King's College has a fantastic reputation.
Okay.
So...
And the other bits here, I'm going to come back to that side. I'm trying to get the mental health first aider, sports massage therapist, and a sports massage therapist tutor as well. Was that linked, or did you have that in place already? And you just thought, I'll get this other side in it to get everything all, just connect the dots to make it all linked as one?
Yeah, so I'm super holistic. So it's all about having a healthy mind and a healthy body, because as much as for a long time people have sort of either focused on one or the other, they are hugely connected, the mind-body connection. So if you're feeling a pain physically in your body, mentally, and I'm sure you guys can remember a time when you've had a bad back or something. You know,
tell me about it.
I know, obviously you need to use that word. And then it just makes you feel mad, upset, angry, whatever. But
it is linked, right?
It's super linked. So,
but is it 1 in 3 people with long-term health conditions? They actually suffer from a mental illness.
Is it?
Yeah,
of some sort, basically.
Yeah, because I just shared with you before, I'm studying for a mental health first aider course myself, and I learned that within it.
That's insane.
Yeah,
That's insane.
But that really correlates to what you've said.
Yeah.
Really, exactly.
Yeah,
and then
I've got a bad back too.
well, both of you.
She's so you out, isn't it?
Yeah, some days you're just a bit like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, I'm sure you've thought, had this this happened to you as well. Like if you're not feeling very good mentally, you might get neck ache, backache, stomach ache as well. So it actually then comes into a physical symptom. So that's where for me they connect. But I actually, because I was in the fitness industry, that was a long time back now, but my thought process then was, okay, well, if people get injured, then I can help them. So I get my massage and acupuncture qualifications, and then I learned more about the connection with the mind, body, and it's just amazing. So everything I do has just sort of come full circle.
Okay, so it's like, if you look back at the mental health side of it as well, why do you think it's very important for people to be aware of where they are within themselves, mental health-wise? Why is it important for them? In terms, because I'll give you an example. Say I look at myself and think, I'm all right. But like I said earlier as well, it's not being all right. It's just keeping on top of it. So how is that important in our day-to-day life?
Well, I think, firstly, a lot of people don't even ask themselves that question. And really and truly, you should check in. Like, how am I doing? Am I doing okay?
Yeah.
But most people actually don't ever take that time. So that's the first thing that everyone watching, start doing that.
Or listening.
Checking in with yourself every day. But in terms of just, what you do for a living, just how you spend your day, it's all about, are you confident in what you're doing? Are you struggling in anything that you're doing?
Yeah.
It's knowing, firstly, who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Being confident in what you bring. And you're going to do so much better in life if you keep checking in with yourself to make sure, okay, maybe why did I react that way? That's not usually me. Why did I react that way? There's maybe something more to that.
Yeah.
It's about respect too, isn't it? So check yourself, respect yourself.
So is that to do with daily affirmations? I hear this thing about daily affirmations where people get up in the morning and the first thing they do, it's like look in the mirror or whatever, or it's like geeing themselves up before they start their day. Is that kind of linked? Is that what daily affirmations are called? Or is that something different?
Daily affirmations are nice because it's a nice way. For example, if you generally are a cup half full person, that's a really nice way to start switching the mindset.
Okay.
So just to change your train of thought.
Yeah.
I start my morning with meditation. I don't really do affirmations, but sometimes I do. But mine's more like I practice gratitude in the morning. And it just starts your mind, rather than thinking, oh God, I got to do this today and I've got 500 things to achieve. I make sure I start my day with total peace and mental clarity.
Okay.
So that
Same here.
So are you a daily affirmations
Breathing
person?
exercises
Yeah,
in the
breathing.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you say, thank you for giving me everything. I really need to focus on this. Can you help me focus on this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
then,
really
you
good.
imagine yourself already having that thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to help the homeless. So I pictured myself with all this money, giving it out.
Yeah.
But actually it transpires into toiletries.
So
Giving the money,
so
giving
with, so,
the toiletries.
so with the breathing exercises, do you have a set? Is it a set time
Yeah,
you do?
I've got a note here. I can share it with you after if you're interested. It's just one that I do for myself.
So that's the breathing exercise you do.
Yeah,
and how long?
with your tummy, not with your chest. So you have to
And how long?
stick your tummy
Yeah.
out.
It's true, yeah.
And how long do you do your breathing exercise? Like, how long does that take? Is it a 5-minute thing?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe longer if you want to.
Yeah.
But sometimes you really start enjoying it because once you are able to sort of block out any other thoughts trying to come in, you start seeing colours.
All right.
And it's almost like a lava lamp.
Okay.
So I always see purple, but sometimes I have some green coming in and
Okay.
some gold and white.
Oh, I have
And
gold,
do they
energy.
those colors that you see? They're just different emotions. Are they linked to
energy.
emotions?
They're linked to your chakras.
Yeah, chakras. So it's all about
Oh, wow.
energy. That could be a whole other podcast.
Oh, let's talk about it, please.
You can charge them. They're like batteries.
Yeah, they're energy centers, are your chakras. So
Is
if
it?
anyone that knows about acupuncture, Reiki, if anyone is spiritual at all, they'll know about chakras. You have 8 chakras. Well, you have actually lots, but you have 8 main chakras, and they're your energy centers. So they all represent a different part of the body.
Okay, so why do you think? I mean, we're going to come to the corporate side of obviously life coaching and obviously mental health in a minute. But why do you think? I still want to stick with the individual side. Why do you think we need to be on top of our mental health and mental mind state as an individual?
The mind is the powerhouse.
Yeah.
So your mind powers absolutely everything. And not to take away from all the personal trainers out there who say everything is, you have to have a healthy body. You absolutely do. But your brain has the power to shut down your body.
Yeah.
So if your mind isn't healthy, isn't okay, you can literally get cancer, you can get migraines, everything. So the mind has to be healthy.
Yeah.
And so it's so much deeper than just, sort of surface level mental health. It's actually your whole life, your whole world, and your whole life experience.
Yeah.
So does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does. It does. So it's again. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. So
Yeah,
is it more important to concentrate on the mind in terms of than concentrate on the body? So in terms of when I say the body, it's people trying to aim to get to their physical peak, be fit and all that, get the cardio going, blah blah blah. Do you think that from your point of view, it's more important to concentrate on the mind first, or they both go hand in hand with each other?
Both can go hand in hand, and I guess because I've got huge experience in the fitness industry, and this is where actually I went into the fitness industry, and I thought, right, this is how I can change the world. This is how I can make the world a better place. This is how I can really help.
Yeah.
And that's when I actually learned that it was people's minds that held them back. So really they can be tackled together, but the mind is more important because you need to be ready. So let's say you're on your fitness journey. You need to be mentally ready to be motivated, to be committed, to do the physical journey. So the mind in that instance definitely has to come first.
Okay.
And also another example is body dysmorphia.
Okay.
So let's say somebody loses a lot of weight and they've gone from being, 18 stone to 10 stone and really lost huge amounts of weight. If they haven't worked their mind at the same time to come in line from being the person they were to the person they are now, that's what can cause body dysmorphia. So they're looking in the mirror, still seeing the person they were before their journey because they haven't brought it in line. So I always say that personal trainers should also be mental health trained or some kind of mental coaching so that they can do that, because otherwise then we get eating disorder potentially or body dysmorphia and other issues like that, where the mind isn't in line with the body.
I mean, you said something about motivation, and I was going to touch on that as well. How can people? Because one of the things people always say is being self-motivated. It's sometimes people rely on others to try and motivate them on a daily basis. For example, how can people learn the art of self-motivation? If especially, I mean, depression is a big thing now. People being down, cost of living going up, which doesn't help. What tips can you give or suggest to people to just keep on going and to motivate themselves on a daily basis, especially when they get up in the morning? It's like, oh, well, if they went to bed down, but it's a brand new day now. Let's just start with a positive attitude. How can people get that? What tips can you give them to get? Because sometimes you might not be around people to self-motivate you, or to motivate you, sorry. But so how can you self-motivate yourself?
So I would always say, remember your why. Remember your purpose. So not just to think, right, I need to go to the gym because I've been told to go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's, why am I going? Why am I doing this? And hopefully that reason should be strong enough to motivate to do the action. And then the motivation usually comes on the back, or comes off the back of doing the action. So motivation isn't always there, but at least if you sort of really tap into the why, and if that why does not get you out of bed to do X, Y, Z, it's not strong enough.
Okay.
It's not your why.
It's not your why.
It's not your why.
It's not, yeah.
So how can you?
Why, but it's not your why.
Yeah,
So,
it's your Z.
So how can an individual identify their why for them to tap into?
It depends what it is.
Yeah.
So if it's, I don't know, give me an example so I could.
God, you got me there now. Oh God, why? It's just knowing that, okay, if they're supposed to do something, it's knowing, okay, identify what they're here for in the first place, and holding on to that to obviously push them forward.
Right.
So it's like, because it's easy just to let go.
Yeah.
So how can they just identify their why and hold on to that?
Some people give you your why when you're growing up.
Yeah.
A parent or a friend or someone in education. Like, you can be given a why which you start believing, but actually that's not your true why.
I was going to say that because their why may be different to their why.
Definitely.
So how can somebody identify their own why and hold that and then obviously take that forward?
So I guess when it comes to, we'll move away from like fitness and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
but when it comes to just like general life, you need to identify who you are as a person. And that's all about, again, like I said before, like checking in with yourself. But most people, if I ask them the question, who are you? They can't answer it. So,
Or what makes you happy as well.
Yeah,
That's
what
a
make-
really good way
what
to...
makes
what
you
makes you
happy?
happy.
Yeah.
That's your why.
That's-
exactly. So it's finding your,
What
like,
lights you up.
Exactly, what lights you up. So as a person, to identify who you are is all about looking at your morals, your beliefs, what makes you happy, what are you passionate about. And then sometimes, you don't want to get up and do, even if you love what you do, for example, you still might have that day, but then it's changing the words that you use, which is then comes into our whole like thoughts, changes our behaviors and actions. So for example, it's a silly example, but if I really don't want to clean the house and I'm like, do I have to?
Yeah.
It's actually like, okay, I get to do this. A lot of people, maybe don't have a house, don't have the ability, and I'm like, okay, I get to do this. I'm able to do this.
Yeah.
That still might not work sometimes, but it's actually just thinking about things slightly differently and like, I went to my nephew's football game yesterday. It was freezing. I really don't want to go and be in the cold. And then I was like, actually, I get to see my nephew happy. I get to see him play. I don't often get, and it's just changing how you view it. And that starts with your words, your thoughts. It changes your actions.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you your why in a minute, Kelly, so just start thinking about that. So let's say someone's why, right, is, again, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. So someone thinks their why is eating. Now, obviously, too much of anything is just not good. So that's my why, that's my purpose, is just to eat. And to eat and to eat and you know what happens after that. How can you tell someone, or the tips to say, okay, your why, you might think your why is actually eating, but it might not necessarily be a good thing in the long run, because obviously too much food, it can lead to other things. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Eating is an action, not a reason.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's good because some people might just say, oh, why? My why is eating. So it's now telling that it's not a why, it's an action. You have to eat to live.
Exactly.
Okay.
So then I would say that that's not a valid why. That's not an actual why.
I like that. And Kelly,
Eating might make you happy.
Although it might make you happy, at which point I would say, okay, what are you eating?
I know.
Make sure.
Chocolate makes you happy when you eat it.
So Kelly, what is your why?
Well, mine is basically, I thought about this for a while, and I'm lucky enough to have actually gone on a workshop where I was taught this, you know, early on. So, and even at university, they made us do it as an exercise. So it had me on a blank sheet of paper, a little bubble with me, and it was a spider diagram. So I had to draw all of the things that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Because I'm quite multifaceted as a person. I enjoy lots of different things, sometimes surprise people,
Yeah.
actually, because they might sort of take one look at you and think that you're not sporty or you're not this or, you know, I do wakeboarding. I'd have to try anything once.
Yeah.
Oops is always better than what is. That's what I say.
I like that.
Yeah.
Coming back from my snowboarding trip in December with a bad coccyx right now, but
Oh.
there we go. I have to lay a certain way.
Oh, is that why you're slanting a bit?
Yeah, I was hoping it would go away, but it hasn't. So I'm thinking,
Oh,
great,
come
I
and
have
see
to
me
go and
before I
get an
leave.
MRI.
So,
You just want to feel my coccyx.
I will feel your coccyx for you, yes.
shall I be here?
You're not allowed to see.
So what is your why then? What is your why? Or do your why change depends on depending on your mood, or do you have like a standard why? So what is your why? What is your purpose? What do you think your purpose is?
So I think it directly correlates to your values as well.
Yeah.
So I worked out what mine are, and I mean, essentially, it's what I do
Okay.
as a job.
Yeah.
We do ethical.
Yeah.
So helping people, planet, and animals.
And that's your why.
That's what makes me happy.
Let's give you another applause for that. And
It's taken me 3 years to work out which way and how, and not to give too much to one, and then obviously try and learn tools. So I give them the tools to help themselves.
Yeah.
Things like this. So
And Hannah, what's your why? Still figuring your why out.
she's gonna have to do the spider diagram.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
all right.
Exactly.
Hannah's still trying to figure her why out.
Some beliefs.
Yeah. Who are you?
Beliefs. Who are you?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just like about variety and experiencing as much as you can, you know, diversity.
To work that out.
Looking at different cultures and all sorts.
But that's external, not internal.
I can't do the
There you go.
All right, cool. And Dr. T, what is your why?
My why is to help as many people in the world as possible and
Okay.
just try and have a positive impact.
That's brilliant. Okay, so we talk.
Make your why your work. And then you're
Exactly.
happy forever.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
that-
my
100%.
my why is to be happy. That's it.
And this is your work. It makes you happy. Look.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the book and
Okay.
the reason why you wanted to write a book. But I'm gonna go through a couple of things on your website. So for people listening, and it's thebrightcenter.com. Thebrightcenter.com. It's nice and easy. A couple of things that when I was doing my research on this that stood out that I didn't even know, and I thought, wow, okay, I'm gonna bring this up. Is we're now going to the workplace now. Here's any given time, 1 in 6 working age adults have symptoms associated with mental health. 792 million people, that's give or take a tenth, isn't it, of the world population, give or take, are affected by mental health issues worldwide. So let's now go with this work-related thing, working age adults, 1 in 6. Talk to me about that.
So, from my experience, it's really, really important for employers to support employees.
100%.
You know, most people are at work, whether it's at home now, you know, remote or hybrid or whatever it looks like, but they work most of the week.
Yeah.
And
People's got to get paid.
yeah, well, yeah, absolutely.
Some people do 2-3 jobs.
Absolutely, it's true.
Yeah.
And you know, it's so important for employers. It's so easy for employers to support their employees' mental health, but so many don't. And yeah, people really, really struggle to be able to achieve working to their full capacity, and you know, their confidence gets knocked. It really, really impacts them in the workplace so much. And it really, like I said, it's easy for employers to do it. It doesn't cost a lot. And it's a huge percentage now. 84% of people, when they're looking now at employers, look to see if the employer is supporting mental health in the workplace.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's not doing like one course a year. It's actually, you know, it needs to be monthly, it needs to be weekly, and it doesn't need to be one-to-one coaching. It could be, you know, just having take a day to stay at home or to whatever it is, you know, go to the spa. Just it can look really different, but it's so important. And
it's also good for team building too, having wellness days away.
Yeah,
get to do activities and spend that quality time with, you know, colleagues that you're so busy with your tasks. You
don't get to know.
Yeah, you might, on a lunch break, maybe get a 10-minute chat like in between eating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
because I think
yes.
the things with employers now, and I'm going to obviously ask the question about how is this growing within obviously a working capacity. What employers will tend to do is, we give them Christmas party and summer party. That's enough for them, which is necessarily not the right thing.
Well, and also
it's
so many
let off steam.
On the flip side, so many people have social anxiety. And since COVID, agoraphobia, which means they're scared of leaving the house. So actually, that is awful.
Well, I mean, Christmas parties are great, summer parties are great, but it's not enough. It's and
really not enough.
I mean, in your opinion, should it be like it should it be tailored to the individual employee? Number one, and number two, as a group thing, because you mentioned about obviously wellness day, should it be more often than just a Christmas party, which is once a year, or a summer party? And not all companies do summer parties. Most companies, when you're lucky enough, you get a Christmas party. That's it.
There's a couple of things, like simple things, like having a health and safety program implemented into the workplace. That improves well-being and mental health for staff, because they know that there's structure there. And
there's care.
Yeah, exactly. Just really small things like that can make a big difference for people. And even just being heard, because when you're in a team and your voice isn't heard and you're trying to communicate the problem, it's reoccurring, but no one's listening. That can cause mental
because
health
we've all been employees, or still some of us still are, some of them been ex-employees at some point. But we've all gone through that situation where we get up in the morning and we don't want to go to work. Now, from an employer's point of view, they would say, Busy didn't come to work 3 times this week. He's just literally a skiver. But sometimes it can actually be deeper than that. Again, kind of linked to mental health. It's like, because you might generally get up in the morning wanting to go to work and just and just calling your little excuse you want to give something. I don't know. The roof's just fallen off or something. But we can laugh at it. But it's like then you start thinking, what lie have I given them that I haven't used yet? But we can joke about it. But sometimes it is also linked to that, because when people physically can't just get themselves out of the front door to go to work. So that is, I think we need to maybe expand on that, but more, because we can just easily say, as an employer, you can look, it's just literally a skyver, I just want to go to work. It's, half the time it might be, but I think the other half, and this might be just me looking at from outside looking at, I think the other half might just be linked to mental health. So it's like, what do we need to make employers understand that it might not necessarily just be someone that don't want to work, or just a skyver, because the first thing you think, they went out last night, didn't they? It might not necessarily be that, because everyone's got their own little demons that they're fighting inside. So how can we make employers understand, and maybe give them tips to identify? Because if Busy is always calling, he's called 4 times in the last 2 weeks and done a sickie, let's try and as an employer, let me try and find out what is really wrong with Busy. It might not necessarily be he just wants to sky because he went out last night and just blew off till 7 o'clock in the morning. How can an employer identify that?
I think firstly, your line management need to be first aid, like mental health first aid trained. So if for example the employee does not feel like they're able to speak up, that actually the manager can identify it. Because a lot of people will feel still very scared to speak up about it. So they will just pull a sickie and not say. So it's really, really important that either the employee does speak up and is, open about it, but actually it really is, the responsibility falls on the management. So that they can identify it and really, really help. And I think what people should do, what employers should do is, for example, if it is an office, you're supposed to be based in the office.
Yeah.
But actually, if you can't for whatever, but you're happy to work from home, that they have that as a very easy option to say, okay, feeling really anxious today, for example, not feeling very, good or able to come in. Am I okay to work from home? It should then just be like, yes. Can you fulfill everything you need to?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay.
And just be
Is there anything
flexible.
that we can do to support you
That's
working at
it.
home? Do you need extra?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's trying to basically
Support.
not just fob them up and think, oh, it's just another sky bar.
Yeah.
And that's it. So it's again, I just personally think, I think from an individual side, we are trying to get there. But I just think corporate needs to do more.
And
But I think the mindset, they need to see their employees as investments.
Yeah,
because they are.
yeah, they are, because I was
Time in training them for this role. If you're going to have a first turnover of staff, how many times you need to keep retraining people? as
exactly
well?
because, and it's kind of leading me again to this on the site. I'm going to plug it again, thebrightcenter.com, because obviously employers is all about the money. It's all about the money, isn't it? You
Yeah,
just said it
talk money to them
in
then.
investment.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this out again just in case people didn't know, especially employers. I'm looking at you. Mental health is responsible for 72 million working days lost a year. I'm going to say that again. Mental ill health is responsible for 72 million working days lost a year. That's approximately 34.9 billion pounds lost each year.
Yeah,
And
huge.
that is from MHFA England. I forgot about that. Mental health.
First aider.
That's the one. So it's not, I didn't say it. She didn't say it. That's
It's going to
fact.
be one soon. Exclusive quality.
So again, because obviously employers just want to know about the money side of it. So that's how much you lose. So I think it's important to see what each individual employee you have is going through and speak to them. Another thing here is, since it's money they understand, is for every £1 put into scaled up treatment for common mental disorders, there is a return of £4.
That's it.
That is profit.
It's profit, and it gives them not only a competitive advantage monetarily,
Yeah.
but it does in being an employer of choice.
Exactly.
So people want to work for you because they see it as, okay, I'm not just a number, I'm not just your worker, but actually you care about me, you care about my mental
Exactly.
health.
Which in turn
Which
means
in
you're gonna get
turn
the
means-
best staff available on the world.
Bingo.
But the best staff, but the best version of that staff.
Which will in turn, employers hear this, which will in turn improve health and productivity in the workplace. And that's from the World Health Organization, not from her or me or Frankie or Hannah.
Exactly.
That's fact.
We didn't make it up.
Yep. So you want to talk about money? That's it. So basically, make sure mental health is an important thing for you at your company. This is employers I'm talking to. And I'm going to read another thing here as well, is people with a long-term mental health condition lose their jobs every year at around double the rate of those without a mental health condition. And that's from MHFA England. You want to expand on that?
Yeah. So that is probably going back to the people that are scared to speak up or say, I actually have clinical anxiety
Yeah.
or whatever it might be. So they just get sacked. So it's really, really important that actually whoever is suffering, if you are struggling with any kind of mental health issue, is to actually try and get some help and support about it. And if you do get any kind of diagnosis, this is only going to help you, because then you can go to your manager and say, I do have this, look. Because unfortunately, on the flip side of mental health becoming more spoken about and more open and accepted, a lot of people are using it. So a lot of people now, in fact, are actually saying, I can't come in today, I have got anxiety, but they don't. And so that is an unfortunate...
I know it's humans, and it can
And
give us
it
an inch, we
is.
go a mile.
Exactly.
Take the piss. Then,
Yeah, it
then
is.
next thing, it's like it's like the whole crying wolf thing. So
Yeah.
when somebody actually does say and really does suffer from
Exactly.
anxiety, because you've just had it from 5 different staff in the last week, you're just rolling your eyes. Oh, yeah, it's another one again.
That's it. And so that's why I really, really suggest actually getting, whether it's a doctor or someone like myself who's a private practitioner, get them to actually write that for you.
Yeah.
Get it written on a piece of paper that you do genuinely have some kind of struggle, some
Yeah.
kind of challenge. Give it to your manager, give it to your employer so that they can support you. It's
Fantastic.
only a good thing.